Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 39th of solving the object-oriented programming system questions with the help of Python. So today we will be discussing another concept of object-oriented programming system, that is hierarchical inheritance. We have already discussed what is inheritance. We have already discussed different types of inheritance, and this is another type of inheritance, that is hierarchical inheritance. We already discussed single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and today we will be discussing hierarchical inheritance. So today's topic is hierarchical inheritance. So guys, if you are very new to this playlist, very new to this channel, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. So in this playlist, we have been solving question based on Python object oriented programming system, and we have been solving question based on it. So as you can see that we have series of question. We started from a very basic question on day 1, then we have day 2 here as well, then we have day 3 as well, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, and we came on day 39 where we will be solving question based on hierarchical inheritance. So we have been solving question and we have been increasing the bar of questions like anything. And if you are very new to this concept, very new to this oops concept, you can just start with a with very beginning. And if you have already done this object oriented programming, but I suggest you to just go through this tutorial, go through this playlist, and I assure you that you will be just you will be just gaining more logic and more understanding of this topic. So let's start this tutorial and understand what this topic is all about, that we have been discussing hierarchical inheritance. So we have been discussing hierarchical inheritance, but we have not I have just introduced you the topic of hierarchical inheritance, but we haven't discussed it yet. So let's start this tutorial and learn about hierarchical inheritance. And I have also prepared you a structure of a hierarchical inheritance, and then I have also prepared you a question, practice question we will be solving simultaneously. So let's start this tutorial, and just before starting to solve this question and solve and go through this tutorial, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. So first of all, let's understand what hierarchical inheritance is. We know that in object-oriented programming, we have a concept of inheritance, right? So what is inheritance? We already know that in inheritance, we just inherit from a parent class. The child class is inheriting from a parent class. So this is another type of inheritance, that is hierarchical inheritance. So in hierarchical inheritance, multiple class inherit from a single base class. It forms a tree-like structure of inheritance. Example: cat, dog, lion class is inheriting an animal class. So what actually happens here is we have one parent class, and then we have multiple child classes. So inheriting from a single parent class, so we will be having single parent class. Like, see, there is one single parent class animal, and then this single animal class will have multiple child. Like, as you can you can say it like this, that uh, you these the parent class have childs, and the childs are siblings. So class is a sibling, dog is a sibling, this is like something like this. So first of all, we will be having a parent, and then parent will be having multiple child. So we have two child here. I have created a structure of a very basic structure of hierarchical inheritance. As you can see, that first of all, if you just focus on this parent class here, I can write it here: parent class, parent class. I can write parent class here, and we can write child class here, and this is also a child class. So child class. As you were seeing that we have been discussing inheritance from a very long time, but we need to just understand each and every concept of inheritance, because this is a very important and very important topic of object oriented programming. So when we will be just solving more and more question, we will be gaining more and more understanding of such topic, and then we can just apply them in our projects, and we can just clear our interviews for any companies. So like so you can see as a basic structure, we have a class called animal, and we have two instance attribute, species and sound. Then we have a method called make sound, and in this method we have been the methods only has the species self dot species, that means the species of the animal, and then a sound method, I mean sound attribute in this method. So this it's printing that make sound is printing nothing, but it's just printing the self dot species making a sound. So if a species is like say dog, some species of dog is making a sound, so it's something like this. So it's a parent class here, it's a parent class here. Now if we move further here from below here from above, we move to below code section, you can see that we have a child class called cat, right? So cat is inheriting from animal class, right? And we have another child class dog that is also inheriting from a child class, sorry, a parent class, that is animal. So we have two child class, cat and dog, both are inheriting from animal, right? So this is the basic structure, you can say, of a hierarchical inheritance. You can create more number of child classes. Like I can create class horse, and I can write animal, and I can just write pass here. I'm not writing anything here, I'm just saying that we can create multiple class here, and all of them will be all of these will be the classes of, I mean the child class of the parent class, that is animal. So we can create n number of child classes. We can create horse, we can create cow. So I hope that you have understood the basic structure of how things are going. So if we create an instance of cat here, so cat is a child class, right? And dog is also a child class. So both are inheriting a method called make sound, right? You can see we have as it is already written here, that cat dot make sound and dog dot make sound. So we haven't mentioned any method here, we haven't written any method in our child class, right? So these two methods have been inherited from our child parent class. So if you run this code, you will be seeing that the cat makes a mew sound, and the dog makes a bark sound. So this is the basic structure of the hierarchical inheritance. So I hope that you have understood the basic structure. Moreover, when we will be solving this question, solving question based on hierarchical inheritance, you will be gaining more logic and more understanding of this topic. So I have written some explanation on the code. This is, you can read in this code, we have a base class called animal with attribute species and sound, right? So we have two attributes, species and sound, along with a method called make sound. As you can see here, we have two instance attribute here, species and sound, and we have alongside we have also a method called make sound, it is just printing the species and the sound of the animal, right? Now if you see, we are just displaying the sound, and we are just displaying the sound and species of the animal in our method. Now then we have two child class, right? A cat and dog, right? We have two child classes, cat and dog, that inherits from the animal class, right? So we have two child class that inheriting from the animal class. Each child class has an additional attribute called name, that and overrides the species attribute with the specific animal name, that is cat and dog. When we create instances of the child class and call the make sound method, it will display the specific sound of the cat and dog respectively, right? So we have just as you can see, we are overriding it. What does it overriding mean is that previously it was written as species here, right, in our method, but now when we you write it, what it is written here is the species is not written here, it a name is written here instead. And similarly here is also a name is written here, and we have just removed the species section from here. So instead of name, we are just printing species here, right? We are printing species here. So sorry, instead of species we are printing name here. So so I hope that you understood this, that we are overwriting this thing. Overwriting means that is replacing the code of section with something else. So uh, instead of species, it's just printing the name of the cat, like Fluffy, Buddy. So I hope that you have understood this too. So if you have not understood this section, when you will be just and you have just understood the basic idea of what is hierarchical inheritance, while we do the code on these questions, you will be able to just understand more and more while we doing the code. So let's do this question. What we have a question here, and then when we will be just doing the question, you will be getting an idea of how things are working properly. So now let's start this question and read out the question. What is the question is asking from us? All right. So create a class called shape with an attribute name. Implement a method called display info that prints out the name of the shape. So first of all, we will be creating a parent class here. So let's create a parent class here. So this is a very simple question. Uh, and I hope that you can create it on your own. First of all, we have to create a class called shape. So class shape, and class shape is the name of the class, and then we have attribute that is name. So we will be writing def init here, and then we will be writing name here, and writing self dot name is equals to name. Now first we have created an attribute, and then we have to create a method called display info. So def display info is the name of the method. Then we will be writing self here inside those parentheses, and after that we will be putting a colon here, and then we will be writing print the name, or we can just write name self dot name. So we'll be just writing the name of the shape here in our inside our shape class. Now we know that shape could be anything. It could be circle, it could be triangle, it could be rectangle, it could be octagon, pentagon, anything it could be. So first of all, let's see what shape they are asking us to create. Create two child classes, circle and square. So we have to create two child classes. First of all, uh, class child class child class 1 and 2. So first we will be writing, well, first of all we will be creating a child class as a square, and we will be closing it by parentheses, and inside those parentheses we will be writing the name of the parent class, that is shape. And then we will be just passing this value. We just have to write something here. So for now we are just writing a pass statement here, and similarly we will be just writing a circle here and putting shape inside those parentheses, because it's also inheriting from the parent class, and its parent class is shape. So we have passed all both of these child classes. Now let's see what each of these child classes is asking from us. So add an additional attribute radius to the circle class and side length to the square class. So we will be writing, instead of pass, I'm just removing pass here, and I will be writing def init here and pressing enter. And the moment I will be pressing enter, you will be seeing that I will be getting super init function again. So I have already discussed what is super init, and I will be discussing it again so that you do not forget in your life that what this super init function. Super init function will be allowing us to, it's just nothing, it is a function, it's just a keyword that will be allowing us to use the functionality of our parent class. So it will be allowing us to use the name, it will be allowing us to use the display info method in our child class. So it will be allowing us to use the name of the name attribute from our shape class into our square class. Now we have to introduce another instance attribute in our square class, that is side length. So side length, and I will be writing self dot side length is equals to side length. Now I have to create a method. What is the name of the method? uh, both inheriting from the attribute and additional attribute attributes to the class and side length cadence. So we do not have to create actually the method. So I will be just leaving it like this. So for then I have to create another I have to focus on another child class, that is circle here, and then I have to write definite again here, and the moment I will be pressing enter here, you will be seeing a supernet function writing alongside with the name already, and I will be writing radius here because we have to pass radius here, and I will be just putting tab, and then I will writing self dot radius is equals to radius. Simple as that. Now as you can see that we have two child classes, first is square and second is circle, and both are inheriting from our parent class, that is shape. So that is shape, right? So what I will be doing here is I will be just writing the name, I will be just creating two instances of our child classes. First of all, I will be writing a is equals to a b c d is equals to square, and I have to write the name. So let's see what they are asking. Create instances of both child classes, set specific values for name, radius, and side length attribute. Call the display info method for each of the instance how to print out the name of the shape. So we will be just doing something like this, that first of all we will be ABCD is the name of the square, so we will be writing ABCD is the name of the square, and then we will be writing the length. So let's say 5 centimeter is the length. I haven't put the unit, so let's assume that it's 5 centimeter, and uh, let's say y is equals to circle, y is equals to circle, and I will be writing y here, and let's say 10 is the radius here, 10 centimeter. Let's assume centimeter is our standard unit. So if I have to print the method, I will be just writing abcd dot display info and close it by parenthesis, and if I run this code, it will be running the method and it will be showing name abcd. Let's just comment down the upper section of the code so we do not get confused, and now let's run it again. So as you can see, the name is abcd, and abcd I can also write abcd square hyphen square, so that we know that it's a square, abcd square, and y circle. You can name it anything. So name abcd square, and I have to just write y dot display y dot display info and close it by parenthesis, and as you can see, name abcd square and name y circle, right? So it's working fine, and it's, as you can see, that we have just inherited the method from our parent class. Both of these child classes, including circle and square, have inherited from our parent class, that is our shape class. If you want to just print the radius, you can just write y dot print y dot radius and run this code. You will be getting 10 value here because it's the radius. So I hope that you have understood the concept of hierarchical inheritance. I hope that you have got the basic concept of hierarchical inheritance and you were able to just follow this tutorials. In the upcoming tutorials, we will be discussing more question, and then you will be just getting more understanding of this concept of hierarchical inheritance. So this was all for today on day 39th. I hope that you have enjoyed playing with hierarchical inheritance or solving the question based on hierarchical inheritance. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you next time.